everyone, it's Frank, and we're ready to get a handle on the CDL air brakes study guide. Air brake systems are standard on most commercial vehicles, and understanding them inside and out is essential for your safety and for passing your CDL exam. Let's make sure you're totally prepared. Why should air tanks be drained daily? To remove water and oil that can freeze or corrode brake parts. Moisture in the air system can freeze in cold weather, causing brake failure, and oil can damage rubber components. So, what's next? What is the function of the safety relief valve in an air brake system? It protects the system from too much pressure, usually opening at 150 psi. This is a critical safety feature that prevents the air tanks and lines from bursting if the compressor governor fails. Next on our list, what are the three basic parts of an air brake system? Service brake, parking brake, and emergency brake. These three distinct systems work together to provide complete braking functionality for the vehicle. Okay, what's after this? What is the service brake system used for? Applying and releasing the brakes using the foot pedal during normal driving. This is your primary braking system for everyday use, controlled directly by the driver's foot. Let's move on. What holds the spring brakes in the off position while driving? Air pressure. Spring brakes are designed to engage automatically when air pressure is lost, so air pressure keeps them disengaged. What about this next one? When do spring brakes come on automatically? When air pressure drops to a critically low level, usually 20 to 45 psi. This is a crucial safety feature that automatically stops the vehicle if there's a serious air loss. On to the next question. What does a low air pressure warning signal indicate? Air pressure has fallen below 60 psi, or half of cutout pressure. This audible and/or visual warning alerts the driver to a potentially dangerous drop in air pressure. Moving forward. How do you test the low air pressure warning signal? By fanning off air pressure with the brake pedal until the warning comes on. This confirms that the warning system is functioning correctly and will alert you in an emergency. Let's consider the next one. What is brake lag? The time it takes for air pressure to reach the brake chambers after the pedal is pressed. There's a slight delay from the moment you press the pedal until the brakes actually begin to apply. And the next point, what is brake fade caused by? Excessive heat due to overuse of the service brakes. When brakes get too hot, their ability to slow the vehicle is significantly reduced. What's next? How can you avoid brake fade on a long, steep downgrade? Use a lower gear and apply the brakes intermittently. This technique uses engine braking to help control speed and allows the service brakes to cool between applications. Moving on to this. What is the maximum allowable air loss rate for a straight truck or bus? Engine off, brakes applied. Not more than 3 psi in 1 minute. This is a standard test to check for air leaks in a single vehicle's air brake system. All right, let's see. What is the maximum allowable air loss rate for a combination vehicle? Engine off, brakes applied. Not more than 4 psi in 1 minute. Combination vehicles have more air lines and connections, so a slightly higher acceptable leakage rate is allowed. What's after this? How do you test the service brakes during a pre-trip inspection? Pump the brake pedal, hold for 5 seconds, pedal should not move. Then drive slowly and apply. This comprehensive test checks for leaks, pedal stability, and proper braking function. Next question. What is the function of the S-cam and S-cam air brakes? It forces the brake shoes against the inside of the brake drum. The rotating S-cam pushes the brake shoes outward, pressing them against the drum to create friction. Let's get to this one. What are slack adjusters used for? To adjust the distance the pushrod must travel to apply the brakes. Slack adjusters ensure that the brakes are properly adjusted to compensate for lining wear. Okay, what's next? How much free play should there be in manual slack adjusters when pulled by hand? No more than 1 inch. Excessive free play indicates that the brakes are out of adjustment and need to be serviced. Moving on, what is the purpose of a supply pressure gauge? To show how much air pressure is in the air tanks. This gauge lets you monitor the total air pressure available in your system. So, what's next? What is the purpose of an application pressure gauge? To show how much air pressure you are applying to the brakes. This gauge helps you understand how much braking force you are currently using with the foot pedal. Next on our list, Why is it dangerous to fan the brakes on and off repeatedly during long downgrades? It causes air pressure to drop, potentially leading to brake failure. Fanning wastes air and can quickly deplete your air supply, leaving you without adequate braking power. Okay, what's after this? What is the most common cause of air brake system failure? Improper maintenance and failure to drain air tanks. Neglecting regular maintenance and draining can lead to component damage and system malfunction. Let's move on. What type of air brake system has separate air tanks and lines for the front and rear brakes? Dual air brake system. This design provides a crucial safety backup. If one system fails, you still have braking capability from the other. What about this next one? How can you check if the air compressor is working properly? By observing the air pressure gauges to ensure air builds to cut out pressure. During your pre-trip, watch the gauges to confirm the compressor builds and maintains pressure correctly. On to the next question. What is the primary component that converts air pressure into mechanical force to apply the brakes? The brake chamber. Air pressure pushing on a diaphragm inside the brake chamber creates the mechanical force to apply the brakes. Moving forward. What is the purpose of the tractor protection valve on a combination vehicle? To protect the tractor's air supply if the trailer breaks away or develops a serious leak. This valve automatically closes to ensure the tractor retains enough air pressure to stop safely. Let's consider the next one. How do you test the tractor protection valve and emergency brakes during a pre-trip inspection? Charge the trailer air tank, then pull out the red trailer air supply parking brake knob. This tests that the valve will properly exhaust air from the trailer line and engage the trailer emergency brakes. And the next point, what causes the pop out of the parking brake knob supply valve in an air brake system? Loss of air pressure in the air tanks. When the air pressure drops below a certain point, the spring brakes engage, causing the knob to pop out. What's next? If you hear a continuous air leak coming from your air brake system, what should you do? Stop the vehicle as soon as safely possible and have the leak repaired. A continuous leak indicates a serious problem that could lead to complete brake failure. Moving on to this, what is the minimum air pressure required for the governor to cut in and begin pumping air into the tanks? Typically around 100 psi. This ensures the compressor restarts before the air pressure gets too low for safe operation. All right, let's see. What is the proper procedure for testing the parking brake in an air brake system? With air pressure built up, put the vehicle in a low gear and gently pull against the parking brake. The vehicle should not move, confirming the parking brake is holding securely. What's after this? When checking the brake drums or discs, what should you look for? Cracks, dents, or holes. Also ensure brake linings are not worn dangerously thin. Damage to these components or worn linings can severely impair braking performance. Next question. What happens if the brake pedal is pushed too hard with air brakes? The wheels can lock up, leading to a skid. It's crucial to modulate the brake pedal to avoid locking the wheels and losing control. Let's get to this one. What is the maximum acceptable air pressure buildup time from 85 to 100 psi in a dual air brake system? Within 45 seconds, a longer buildup time indicates a potential issue with the compressor or a leak in the system. Okay, what's next? What does it mean if the air dryer purges frequently? It may indicate excessive moisture in the air system or a problem with the dryer. Frequent purging can mean the dryer is working hard due to too much moisture or is malfunctioning. Moving on. What is the purpose of the one-way check valve in the air brake system? To prevent air from flowing back out of the air tanks to the compressor. This valve ensures that once air enters the tanks, it stays there until used by the brakes. So what's next? What is the best way to determine if your automatic slack adjusters are working correctly? Conduct a pre-trip inspection and check pushrod travel. While automatic, you still need to check pushrod travel to ensure they are keeping the brakes in proper adjustment. Next on our list, what should you do before disconnecting the air lines when uncoupling a trailer? Shut off the air supply to the trailer and drain the air from the lines. This prevents uncontrolled air release and ensures safety during uncoupling. Okay, what's after this? When coupling a tractor to a semi-trailer, what is the correct sequence after backing under the trailer? Connect air lines, raise landing gear, check fifth wheel connection. Following the proper sequence ensures a secure and safe connection between the tractor and trailer. Let's move on. What is the function of the foot valve or treadle valve in the air brake system? It controls the amount of air pressure sent to the brake chambers when the driver presses the brake pedal. This valve is your direct control over the service brakes. What about this next one? What is a common sign of a brake chamber diaphragm being ruptured? A continuous air leak heard from the brake chamber. A ruptured diaphragm means air is escaping, leading to a loss of braking power from that chamber. On to the next question. If the ABS malfunction lamp comes on while driving, what does it mean? The ABS system is not working, but you still have regular brakes. The vehicle will still brake, but you won't have the anti-lock feature. Get it checked soon. Moving forward, what is the safest way to brake with ABS in an emergency? Apply firm, steady pressure to the brake pedal. Let the ABS system modulate the brakes for you to prevent wheel lockup and maintain steering control. Let's consider the next one. Why are modern air brake systems designed with a dual air brake system? To provide a backup system in case one air system fails. This increases safety by ensuring you still have some braking capability even if a leak occurs in one part of the system. And the next point. What should you check for regarding brake linings during an inspection? They should not be worn thin, cracked, or contaminated with oil grease. Worn or contaminated linings reduce braking effectiveness and can lead to brake fade. What's next? What is the importance of proper brake adjustment? Improperly adjusted brakes can cause longer stopping distances and uneven braking. Well-adjusted brakes ensure efficient and balanced braking across all wheels. Moving on to this. What is the common term for applying and then releasing the brakes to maintain a safe speed on a downgrade? Snubbing. This technique allows your brakes to cool between applications, preventing overheating and brake fade. All right, let's see. What is the purpose of an air dryer in an air brake system? To remove moisture and contaminants from the compressed air. The air dryer helps keep the air system clean and dry, preventing issues caused by water and debris. That wraps up our comprehensive study guide for the CDL air brakes test. Mastering these principles is absolutely fundamental to operating a commercial vehicle safely and passing your exam. Keep studying, and you'll be ready to hit the road.